Okay, now we're going to draw a nose from a similar angle. This particular person's kind of tilted the other direction though, kind of facing to our right. So we're going to be mindful of that. Now when you are placing these facial features together, notice that everything in the face kind of crunches up a little bit. It sort of smushes in together when it's foreshortened. So for instance, like the nose even overlaps this eye right here from that angle. Okay, so we're just going to do the nose separately here though. And just like when we're looking at it from straight ahead, we start off with 3 circles to represent that nose and kind of help us get the general shape. So we've got the center circle, the tip of the nose, and then the left and right circles for establishing where the nostrils are. And from this angle, we can see a lot more of the left nostril than the right one. And keep this loose, keep it light, because we'll probably make mistakes that we'll need to correct here in a little bit before we do our final lines. Alright, so I'm going to start with the actual opening of the nostril here. Almost looks like a comma type shape. Never going to make it too circular, even though we're kind of underneath and we can see straight up our nose. Still not a perfect circle. Then we want to draw lines for the outside of the nostrils, here and here. And I am noticing maybe this one should be a little bit lower. It should be a little lower than the left. So I'm going to bring that down, correct it, before we start doing our shading. Make those corrections. Alright, I'm finding the tip of the nose right about here. And then if I follow this line, it goes up the bridge of her nose and sort of leads right into her eyebrow. Okay. And that's about it for the sketch portion. Now I can get rid of some of these circular sketch lines, and I can start my shading. The nose is not going to have very many lines on it. You always want to stay away from, trying to oversimplify it with these like big, bold outlines around it. It's subtle. The only reason we can tell it's popping out of her face is by the lights and shadows. It's a little bit dark underneath, a little bit of shade on this side, and then we've got reflections on the tip and up the bridge of the nose there. Alright, so I'm going to start by locating my darkest areas first. I'm going to kind of outline it first. And then I'll go in with that side of the pencil like I did with the eye. Here it seems to be a little bit darker. Alright, now I'll start putting in some of the gray tones. And we know the light is coming from, looks like upper right, because underneath it's darker. And then on the left side of things, it's a little bit darker too. So I do want like kind of a smooth shading right now if I can manage it. You don't want to get too scratchy because that's a lot harder to blend in than this is. And while I'm shading this, I'm not trying to imagine. I'm looking at my subject and trying to determine exactly where those shadows start and finish. that's pretty much it for the dark areas. Maybe I'll darken this up a little bit here first. Okay, now I'm going to soften it up, kind of blend it in. And then I'll start doing the rest. Now, there's really only a couple bright spots, those reflections on her nose. And the rest of it's all kind of just like a really light gray. So if I've got anything left on my blender or on my finger, I can kind of use that and try to spread it out. If you really have to, though, you can come back in with a pencil and add a little more graphite down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend that in and then erase for where my reflections are supposed to be. Okay. And usually like the white vinyl eraser works better, so the eraser that's at the end of mechanical, or if you got one of these guys, use that too. Soften those edges a little. And maybe I'll darken up the nostrils just a little bit more to make them stand out. So I think it is important to think of the eraser as a drawing tool and not just something that you use to get rid of your mistakes. You can use it to create highlights, you can use it to touch things up. Get those finishing touches that you want. And that ought to do it. So it should be pretty subtle, but you should have a nice range, a nice value scale in there from black to white. So that's about it for the nose.